They got two different guys in the locker room. One guy's showing up, one guy's not. I don't know. Howard's been in that locker room for decades. Let's bring him up here now. Don't forget, Angelo joins us also at 4:30. And here he is here, our good friend here, Howard Eskin. Howard, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm just great. I'm going to tell you right now, Dan, I would not go to the White House, but I don't want to get political because, and this is going to sound political, I would not go to the White House because the president would, and unfortunately, he's the president, but that's political, so I can't get into that. He is going to use that as a political tool. And that's where it's a problem. It used to be, I remember, and I have a picture with Julius Erving in the Rose Garden when the Sixers won a championship. This is, 40 years ago, 40-some years ago. Yeah, 83. So, and you know what? It was just fun. It wasn't political. It wasn't who's showing up, who's not showing up, who likes the president, who doesn't like the president. Everybody's got an opinion. And you don't have to agree. I mean, I feel bad for the people that have lost their jobs, but you don't have to agree with them. But you have it's become a political situation. And Jalen Hurts doesn't like Donald Trump. There's other players on that team that don't like Donald Trump. I don't know who's going to show up and who's not going to show up. I don't know. Saquon Barkley's a great guy. But apparently he flew with the president on his plane to the White House and stayed overnight. Shouldn't you be with your teammates when you make a trip like that?
I think but Howard, here, his respect for Iran Barkley, his uncle, who fought for the middleweight championship and who was friends with Trump when he was a kid. There was a history there that goes back with the Barkley family that he's known him since he was a kid. And his uncle had great respect for him too. So I don't think it was just him not sitting there going like this. Hey, man, and you're not wrong about the politics in it. I've been to the White House too for my 87 team when we got honored to win the national championship. Right. I didn't give a shit who was in the White House. I wanted to be with my teammates, to be there and have my team honored. I don't know. Maybe it's just different today. Maybe it's different today. I would go if Joe Biden was there. I would go if Obama. I don't care. I mean, but it
wouldn't be political. It wouldn't be political with the other presidents. He is going to use that. Trust me, he's going to use that because his approval ratings are way down. It's the worst of any president. I think it's the worst of any president. So he's going to use the championship team came here, the world champions. And I saw a comment. He said he's working out deals with over 200 countries. Well, there's only 195 in the world. But that's another story for another day. But, Saquon Barkley was playing golf. He plays golf all the time, and he loves
with Obama.
And he was probably at Trump's golf course. Trump knew about it, went there, and hey, why don't you come down? And that's great because you don't turn down the president. But he's not going to live with the president. He's not going to play with the president. He's not going to be in a locker room with the president. He's going to be in a locker room with his teammates. And I think this team, the Eagles team, is really, really good, very good, terrific character people. And I think they'll get over any any disagreement they had with Barkley going down by himself.
I think this splits the locker room a little bit here, Howard, because, again, I mean, Hurts made a decision not to go. Barkley made the decision to go. It's only human nature. Someone's going to have an opinion in the locker room because, again, most of the people that follow politics, including me, are uninformed and are not educated on it, and they're going to form a stupid opinion on it. And that's how that's going to roll, especially guys in that locker room. I know how some of the men think there, man, and whether they think one guy's right, one guy's wrong, they're going to be asked by the Philly media, what'd you make of Hurts not going? You're my hero. What'd you make of Barkley going? He's not my hero. I think there's a conversation that whether it's true or not, it will be.
And I think you're correct in that regard. But I would be shocked if there aren't other players that didn't go. But they're not at the level of Hurts and Saquon Barkley. So I mean that's part of it. I just listen. I have a friend that worked for Trump, and I've got all kinds of stories, which I can't share. Obviously, it was actually his right hand man when he owned the hotels. But whatever the case may be, I've met him. He's not the same person as he used to be. And hey, listen, you got to help. I just feel bad for people where they can't afford the food they need every day. Hopefully, he doesn't change the medical insurance, the Medicare, the Medicaid, or whatever it is. Hopefully, he doesn't change Social Security when people are getting $65 a day and Elon Musk is getting $8 million a day from the government. So I from the United States, from our tax dollars. So again, I got political, but my being political is for the little guy. And Dan, you're not the little guy. I'm not the little guy, but I care about the little guy. I care about people. And that's my only thing. When people can dislike me for the opinions that I just had, that's fine. But I care about the little people. And I think Jalen Hurts, who's a different kind of guy, I think he cares about the little people too.
Well, why don't we do this then, Howard? Here's would have been mine. He's getting heat now. Why didn't he just do this? I can't stand Trump. I hate him. I'm not going.
No, you can't do that.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me you got conflict of interest and you got scheduling. Just go like this. I can't stand the guy. I think the guy's a scumbag. I think the guy, what he's doing to our country right now. Why can't he do that instead of do this? Hey, I got a scheduling conflict because I'm going on Oprah's show. I mean, why not be honest about it? It's an honest moment. Be honest about it. Why can't you do that?
Because players are told not to.
Bob Lang strikes again.
I don't want to mention any names. I'm not going to mention names because they're told not to. And I'm sure the people that didn't want to go or advised, you probably should go. Jalen Hurts is going to do what he wants to do.
That's
and
right.
There's other people that are going to do what they want to do. The owner is a terrific guy. I don't know for a fact, but I don't know that I think the Eagles hoped that they weren't going to be invited, but then the media made an issue of it. Well, are they going to invite the Eagles? So then you had to invite them. I'm sure they wouldn't have cared whether they get invited because now it's a dog and pony show. It's not like it used to be.
Maybe that's my problem too. Because when we went to the White House, I enjoyed myself. Hell, I even stole stuff out of the bathroom with the logo on it and all that. When we went there, hurricane. Me, Howard. I'm like a spoon with the logo on it. This thing was awesome here, man. I mean, I didn't really care, man. I mean, I got
White House cufflinks. Bill Clinton sent me White House cufflinks.
Very nice there. All right, let's get to some sports here. What'd you think?
Yeah, right. And again, I hope people don't hold it against either one of us for either one of our opinions, but that's what we have as opinions. And I just, hey, listen, if a guy wants to do what he wants to do, and I don't think he needs to make excuses, fine. I have no problem with that.
Absolutely. Would you make it a 3-day weekend with the Eagles on what they did? I loved what he said on Saturday. I really did what Howie said. He goes, "Look, man, we're picking at the bottom of the draft. We were kind of subject to the board there." And again, I think they're never going to go with needs. They're going to go with best players. Is that how you saw it, or did you see it different?
The catchphrase is the best player at a need. The best at a need. Okay, so
look at you killing two birds with one stone.
well, wait a minute. You've lost defensive players,
yep.
So you got an edge rusher linebacker because you've lost Josh Sweat, Milton Williams, and Brandon Graham retired. So you got the best player. The Eagles don't worry about injuries. It's amazing. That's how they got Cooper DeJean. He was a first-round draft pick last year, but he was hurt in his senior year at Iowa. The guy was a stud, and he slipped to the second round. Hey, the doctors checked him. He's going to be okay. And it turned out to be a great pick because other teams were afraid of him because of the injury. The same thing with Jahad Campbell. So that was a good pick. They needed a defensive back. So that was a good pick with need. And Campbell, everybody says Campbell is a terrific player. I don't know about the safety, but he's got speed. He's a little guy, but they liked him. And then after that, and a quarterback, you always kind of take a quarterback late. You just see what you can develop. And the thing is, he's from the Philadelphia area. So it's a feel good story. I mean, all this nonsense on social media. It's just, well, the Eagles would have taken Shadeur Sanders at 145 if Cleveland didn't take him. I think that's nonsense, because it creates a distraction you don't need at the quarterback position for a guy that's never going to be a starter would have never been a starter with the Eagles. So when you look at their picks, they got what they think are good players. They're not all going to make it. So we'll see what happens. The quarterback that they got out of Syracuse will be probably the third string quarterback. But here's what I think the Eagles could do. Tanner McKee, I think, is a very good quarterback. He's a backup. I don't know if he'll ever be a starter, but who knows? Maybe they could trade him and get a 4th round pick, and they still have somebody else. So, you got some ability to do some things there, but we don't know how good the draft was.
No.
From the outside looking in, it looks like a good draft. And the thing that what the Eagles do is they show patience. They didn't get crazy trying to move up to get Jahad Campbell, because they felt that he might be there, and it was too much for whoever.
They're disciplined, Howard. They're very disciplined in the draft.
Yeah. Patience is a virtue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think you're dead on with that here. And like you said, and you look at the draft the same way I do. We won't know what these players are going to look like for 3 years. These guys don't even have helmets yet before we understand what kind of ball players that they are here. So how about this, though? Let's expand on that. How do you think the offseason's gone so far in retooling the team with free agency and also with the draft? Because like you said, I mean, Howard, you took a blowtorch to the number 1 ranked defensive football team on defense, and a lot of those players took 2-3 years to develop. I mean, Sweat took 3-4 years. Milton took 3-4 years. You had a bunch of guys that you were patient, like you said. Now you're kind of ripping that up and starting all over again with new names, new faces, and less experience. How do you think they've done in the offseason?
Well, Sweat I'm okay with. They're probably going to get a 3rd round compensatory pick.
Yeah, next year. Yep.
Okay. So, and I think he was only a 5th round pick for the Eagles out of Florida State, was it? I think it was out of
fourth round.
4th round. Okay. So they'll do better off there. He's had some inconsistency, and I don't know this, but I feel this, that they felt that if they sign him to another contract, you wouldn't get the same production out of him. So I'm okay with that. Brandon Graham retired. Milton Williams, nice player. But you can't sign everybody. Teams that win the Super Bowl, happens to every team, their roster changes by 15 to 18 players the following year. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't pay everybody. And who was it that got, Sweat may have gotten overpaid. There's somebody else that got a lot. I don't know.
Bill Williams got $26 million.
Okay, so he got a lot of money too. You can't pay these guys that. And the Eagles you got 2 wide receivers making over $55 million.
Yeah.
All right. So now you got to get young players who are locked in for 4 or 5 years at less money, because you have so many players making a lot of money. They signed Cam Jurgens to a lot of money, Landon Dickerson to a lot of money. You can't sign everybody. Lane Johnson's making a lot of money. Their whole offensive line is making a lot of money.
Just to expand on that, Howard, 9 guys on offense make $228 million as an annual salary. You think that's a little bit too unbalanced, where you have so much money on that side of the ball and you've got so many players making north of $15 million? It's like 10 guys. And you've only got really 1 player now, the linebacker, because the backup, Huff, is the backup. You got one player making $15 million or more on that defensive side of the ball. I know that Carter's coming. There's going to be 40 there. But, boy, you got a lot of money on offense. Do you think that's how the league is today? I mean, you got to have a big-time offense, and you have to have, most notably, a great offensive line.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if I agree with that.
Okay.
And I'm allowed to disagree. Defense, you could see the Eagles had, what was it, 40, how many, 40 some points in the Super Bowl? They didn't score early. If it wasn't for that defense, keeping them in the game. Now, I don't think Kansas City was even the best team in the AFC, but nonetheless, the defense, I think the MVP was on defense as well
Me
as
too.
Jalen Hurts plays. I think the defense
It was
the
Sweat.
MVP. Yeah, Sweat, Zach Bond. You know, it's just hard to take a linebacker. Danny White was kind of an all-purpose guy. I remember he won, and then you got a cornerback. Who was it with Oakland? Won the MVP one year.
That's right.
But it's rare. But the defense really was the MVP of that game. So I think it's crazy, but I think it's kind of changed. You got to score points, but you better have it when you get to the playoffs. You better have that defense. And I think the Eagles recognize that. They're fine on offense. They got the best offensive line probably in the NFL.
Oh, yes.
They got a terrific running back. I don't know if he's the best, but if he's not one, he's 1A. And you have a quarterback that's perfect for what they want to do, where they want to run the football. They don't really want Jalen Hurts to pass more than 21, 22 times a game. So he's less susceptible to the turnover. They can do that, and they'll still score some points. But the reason that the Eagles won, and this goes back to the defense, they got turnovers. Turnovers are the ultimate killer for a team. You can't win games if you turn the ball over, and the fact that the defense got turnovers was really, really, really big. So that's what they are. They want the turnover. So does everybody, but they don't turn the ball over, and they get turnovers. But I think the defense is probably, it's crazy to say, just as important as the offense on the Eagles team.
Absolutely. Couple last ones here for you, Howard. They did not address in the draft tight end. And if you listen to what Howie said, he goes, listen, we really love the guy.
Yep.
The guy's perfect. We really think a lot about him. He's a great player, but we're not there. Boy, that sounds to me like, because there's no money owed to him, that sounds like it's Goddard and his agent going, I'm not playing for anything other than this X amount of money here, because look at what the guy got, the tight end got in Arizona. That guy's now making 18, 17 million. He's making $19 million a year. He's the highest paid guy in the sport. And now he's looking at it. The guy who's missed 25% of his career in Philly, no doubt, availability, as you know, Howard, is just as important as ability. You got to be there. How do you see this thing here with them not even addressing in the draft the tight end spot?
Well, I think they have another year to do that because he'll be here a year. They can I think he's important to the team right now. I think he's absolutely important to the team right now. So I think that's a good thing that they kept him. I don't think he'll be here beyond this year, but then they'll get a tight end. They will find a tight end, whether they'll have a lot of draft picks. They have a lot of draft picks next year. They'll maneuver around. They will have another tight end, I think, next year. And I'll miss Dallas Goedert. Not only is he a terrific player, but he does get injured, but he's a terrific person in the locker room as well. And that's and nowadays, I think that's just as important.
Who do you think has a tougher chore ahead of him this season, Vic Fangio or Kevin Patullo?
Who has the
tougher chore ahead of him in getting the most out of his unit, Vic Fangio or Kevin Patullo? Because if you look at the offense a year ago, no question, one of the best, if not the best running attack in all of football. But their 30th passing really wasn't utilized. And the common theme is in Philly, well, we didn't really need it. Well, I mean, you didn't because you were so dominant. But without Barkley on that team, you're not winning the Super Bowl.
That's a hard thing to answer. I think both will do well. I mean, Kevin Patullo's been there, so he understands the offense. He's part of the meetings when they game plan, and I think Jalen really respects him. I think he's a very sharp guy. Kevin Patel is a sharp guy.
Yep.
Vic Fangio's a terrific coach. I think I don't know who has the tougher. That's a tough question to answer, but they both have tough jobs because to repeat is tougher than anything. And the Eagles didn't have a lot of injuries last year.
No.
That's another thing. So, it all comes into play.
Last question for you here, Howard. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, what'd you make of that whole Shadeur Sanders thing? I mean, it's good for ratings. ESPN all-time high there. And, boy, I'll tell you what, man, I'd never seen more pub for a fifth-round pick in my life than for Shadeur Sanders. How did you make it, and what did you think of it?
Well, I think you know what the draft is like. It's a lot of names. How many times can you say the same thing? And so they don't say the same thing. But, and it's just social media is not social. It's not media. And then they throw, well, he's going to go here, and they're looking at him. It's just the teams just laugh at all that. It's just he's too cocky. The fact is he obviously is. And in the end, I had Chris Sims on my show, on my podcast, a few weeks ago. And he said something, because I was thinking, well, maybe the Giants. He said he's not good without a clean pocket. He's not as athletic as other players. That's a bit in today's, and the Giants don't have a good offensive line yet, and who knows when they're going to get one. And I'm saying, wait a minute, that's not a good thing for a quarterback. You rarely have a clean pocket. How many times are you going to have a clean pocket? So he talked about some flaws. Now, he didn't think that he would go that late, but and then you probably heard the same thing. The interviews he had were terrible, too cocky, like his father. You can't be cocky. You got to be humble, and he just wasn't humble. And I don't know when I look at it now whether I don't care what his numbers are, and he talks about his numbers. A fifth-round pick, somebody takes a shot earlier than that. That looks a little steep, but obviously they had some concerns about him. I don't know if he's a really good starting quarterback in the NFL based on now what I look at. And Cleveland's not going to keep. They draft a guy in the third round, a quarterback, and then they draft one of those people aren't going to be there. And they have the ability to trade. So I don't know. And I don't think Sanders is their starting quarterback of the future. He's got to be more humble. And you just can't be a wise guy. You can't be, I need this, I want this, and I should do this. And then I'm sure they worried about his father saying, well, that's not the kind of offense he needs to play. So with all these, I think both of those things came into play.
Who would you rather have in your quarterback room, Tanner McKee or Shadeur Sanders?
Tanner McKee.
Me too. I mean,
Tanner McKee it makes great reads. I watch him in camp, makes great reads. He's got a strong arm. He's not as athletic, but he really, really is a smart Stanford guy. Not all the guys coming out of Stanford are smart guys, although you think they should be going to Stanford. But sharp guy, great arm, not as athletic, but he can get out of the pocket if he has to. Tanner McKee is a better quarterback. Absolutely.
Well, just remember this, Howard. It's 16% admittance rate down at Miami, and I went there. So, I mean, you don't have to be smart. I mean, I didn't go there because I was some sort of like academia guy. That's for damn.
Well, it's the Catholics versus the convicts. Yeah, that's what it is.
Howard, make sure you – by the way, Michael Irvin said that he watches he was on Friday with us, and he watches your podcast all the time, and he watched the one when you had Sapp on. So that's really dope, man.
Try to get. It's funny you said that. I tried to get a hold of him today. He's not the easiest guy to answer a text message.
No. Here's how you have to work him because he does the same shit to me, and I'll tell you how you do him. You got to remember he'll go back to his texts now. When did you text him today?
Earlier today.
Okay. Next Wednesday. He'll get back with you and go, when do you want me? I don't know what it is. I mean, so he's a lot like Iverson. Okay.
Jeez. It's unbelievable. I got Frank Caliendo on Saturday because I love Frank. I love Frank with all these impersonations. But and then I'm going to have Gruden on afterwards. After Caliendo does Gruden, I'll have Gruden on. But I'm trying to get a hold of. Hey, Michael, I'm trying to get a hold of you. Answer your damn text, damn it.
Yeah, he just, hey, I've known that kid for 40 years. We've been friends and brothers for 40 years.
Yeah, well, I got to know him back in the day in the 80s too. Yeah.
Hey, he just, I mean, we knew each other since we were 19 when we were playing together. And he just, hey, I'm sorry, man. I dude, it took you a month to get back to me. He goes, yeah, I know, man, I'm behind and everything. And I'm like, so now I'm going to text Eskin. I'm going to text him and go, hey, Eskin's looking for you, man.
Yeah, text him. And I'm going to get back to him and tell him, yeah, damn it, answer my text.
Yeah. Howard, great stuff. You have a great show, and I so thank you so much for coming aboard. I always love different opinions. By the way, do you have a message for Angelo? He's coming on at 4:30.
Well, I know one thing.
I know you had him on too.
Yeah, and it was great. It was great. Whatever I said about the White House, Angelo's going to say the opposite.
Hey, I told him, I said, hey, Howard loves Andy Reid. Howard loves Andy Reid.
That's coaching football. Better than Bill Belichick. And how about that 60 or the CBS Sunday Morning? That's a charade. That is a disgrace. That to let that 25-year-old run him around like a little puppet. 24.
You're being kind. She's like 22.
No, I think she's 24. But whatever. She's a Division III cheerleader. Give me a break. It's just like he's supposed to be in charge. And I wish CBS runs the rest of that when she interrupted so many times in that interview. And the only reason Belichick did the interview is because he has a book. And the fact that he won't answer the question that what's his name, Robert Kraft is not mentioned in the book is a joke.
How about this? Joke. He ran Brady out of the organization, but he wouldn't run her out of an interview.
What a joke. It's just, he doesn't follow social media. You're going to tell me when she has somebody shooting those pictures of him playing Patsy on the beach with her that he doesn't know where it's going? Give me a break.
Oh, my God. Hey, Howard, I'm rooting against the Lakers. Do they get closed out by Minnesota? And what my favorite line, Howard Eskin, LaFraud. Does he get closed out by the T-Wolves?
Well, they don't win the series, and I think this game is in L.A., right?
Yeah, it's in L.A.
So they don't want to lose at home. And I'm not a J.J. Redick fan either, too. The only reason he got the job is because he kissed LaFraud's ass to draft his kid who can't play a little bit. So all these things. It's a joke.
Hey, that's going to be a new one, Howard. Who has the better career, Bronny or Shadeur?
Shadeur. All Shadeur has to do is play 3 plays, and he's got a better career.
Howard, thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate it. Always great talking.
Michael Irvin, where are you?
Howard, thank you, my friend.
See ya.
You got it. Howard Eskin. Don't forget. Yes, sir. Our friend Angelo Cataldi. That'll be good there. We appreciate Howard. He does a great show, and we will reach out to Michael Irvin and go, where the hell are you here, my friends? Absolutely. So please hit that like button. We're going to reset here. Guys, don't forget our great friends at Morgan & Morgan. #1 injury law firm in the country with over $30 billion recovered. That's who Morgan & Morgan is. Track record is second to none, my friends. Family in Pennsylvania here got $30 million when it came to a recovery that initially an insurance company wanted to only give that Pennsylvania family $650,000, not happening. Or down in Florida, a family got $13 million, and they initially were offered $350,000. No way. That's not how it works. And you know why their record is what it is? They win. If you're ever injured, please check out our great friends at forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's FORthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. And do me a favor, you tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he